God damn. That nigga Donald Trump with the bullshit, ain't he? The haters trying to stop the flow today. God damn. Ain't gonna play no records and they hating. This is crazy. So, then wait till everybody get back in. I don't know what's going on with IG, man. Jesus Christ. Before I really get back in it, I want to say shout out to my nephew Ethan. It's his 10th birthday. Happy birthday, Ethan. And shout out to my homegirl, big support. She always support everything I do. But shout out to her, my homegirl PJ Patrice. She lost her pops yesterday, and so I just want to send my condolences. And we're gonna get right back in. So when I moved here, the first artist I worked with was this artist, a bass artist named DJ Taz. And Taz set me down. He was like, hey, look, man, I know you're from California, and I know the other cat, which was my partner, Keenan Johnson, he also worked the Priority. He's like, look, I know he from New York and you from California, but if y'all gonna work my record and other records from Atlanta, I got to take you around to real Atlanta spots. I was like, all right. So Taz took me to a bunch of places, and he hit me to this artist named Kilo. He kept saying, I know this producer, it's my homeboy Smurf and Kilo. So as we go to clubs. We went to 559, Illusions. We went to like Frozen P. We went to like a little hole in the wall club, 720 on off Ashby and MLK. Went to just a bunch of strip clubs. This was my first time ever going to strip clubs, but I was amazed at the reactions that this dude Kilo and the records that Kilo and this dude Smurf was getting. I was like, who the hell is, like, it was this dude Smurf. He was like, man, he produced like me, hard, like, And so one of the first records, and Taz let me hear it, after they recorded, Taz let me hear it. It was this record right here, produced by, it was DJ Smurf's record, and it was this record right here.
Yo, check this out.
Now the crazy thing about that record, like when I first heard it, I literally was in 559, and I seen, like, to me, coming from California, that record, the tempo and the bass of it, we called it like techno music. We didn't really know what bass music was. We called it techno. But being in 559, and I was like, damn, this is some hood shit. But when they played this record, I just saw like the hoodest dudes, start dancing. It was crazy. So Taz was like, yo, man, you gotta meet Kizzy. At the time, I think he had fell out with Kilo, But he was like, man, you gotta meet Smurf. You gotta meet Smurf. I didn't meet Smurf at the time. It was crazy to fast forward. Somebody I ended up buying a Jeep, and there was a tape inside it. And in the tape was this dude, Edward J, but it was a Smurf mix. And being like a DJ myself, I was like, let me check it out. But I heard the mix, and I was like, damn, this dude was mixing like double time beats. He was mixing like bass records with slow R&B records. And I was amazed because like that's actually how I started mixing, but it wasn't double time beats. It was just like regular, like new age, new hip hop like records and with old school like R&B joints. So when I heard it, I was like, damn, this dude is dope. So later on, Smurf, which you guys probably know as ColliPark, I met him, we became cool, but, it was through passing. But fast forward, I'm working at Interscope Records, and they were like, look, listen, man, we about to sign this, this kid. And I'm like, who? And I was like, Soulja Boy. I was like, no, he's an internet sensation. He's everywhere. And he signed to ColliPark. And I'm like, who's ColliPark? He was like, yeah, you know me down there with y'all. I'm like, ColliPark. And I ended up meeting Smurf's brother, which is Derek. He was like, hey, you know my brothers? I'm like, I don't know ColliPark. He was like, nah, man, Smurf. I was like, oh shit, DJ Smurf is ColliPark? He was like, yeah. So, ended up sitting down, like, hollering at Smurf, and he issued in this record. Now, the significance of this record was this dude, the whole viral game and the viral campaign and the online campaign as it is now, Smurf, aka ColliPark, and this dude right here issued in the whole viral game, the whole internet. They really worked the internet game. And it was this record right here.
Soulja Boy, tell me. Hey, I got this new dance for y'all, call him Soulja Boy. You gotta point then crank back 3 times from left to right. Soulja Boy, really? Why me crank it? Why me crank that Soulja Boy? That Superman, that why me crank that Soulja? Now 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 what? Soulja Boy, really? Why me crank it? Why me crank that Soulja Boy? That Superman, that why me crank that Soulja? Now 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 what?
So through Soulja Boy and Soulja Boy's success, and I don't think people realize Soulja Boy's success is directly tied to ColliPark the city, and ColliPark the person, Smurf, and Derek. Shortly after they released this Crank That, of course, Soulja Boy had a run, an incredible run for an artist his age, 15, 16. They had an incredible run with there he is.
What up, homie?
So for those that don't know, I'm sorry to keep calling you Smurf, dog. It's just old school, but this is the legendary Mr. ColliPark from ColliPark. So before you jumped in, I was telling everybody how I got hip to you. Taz first hit me to you like as a producer and everything. He was just like really speaking your praises, and I ended up buying a Jeep, like an old school Cherokee, and it had a tape in it, and it had it down, and it said DJ Smurf. I might still have it. It was like DJ Smurf 80s mixes, and you was mixing bass with
with the
slow
R&B.
R&B shit. And I was like, man, this shit is incredible.
Yeah.
I remember calling Taz like, hey, dog, this dude Smurf is cold. He was like, man, I told you. You know what I'm saying? So it was like at the time one of the most like amazing things to me as a as a DJ and as a music lover. And it was just funny that fast forward, we met. We kind of clicked up during the Soulja Boy time. So I wanted to like talk about that. Like, man, how did you go from the bass, the girl sophisticated to, clicking with Soulja?
For me, music has just been a progression. It's like once you serve your time in one aspect of it, you just graduate to the next. You know what I mean? So, from DJing, I actually started. I got into the music business through DJing for MC Shy D. So that was my introduction into the music business because he had just got away from Luke and started an independent label called Ben's Records. And it's funny because you skipped a lot of stuff.
But hold on, before you do that now, I got it. Okay. We got him like.
Right. Okay.
He's coming. DJ Smart. Replace the tree. Check it out. Let's go, yo. Let's go, yo. Let's go, yo.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now, this hit story. So we got the hits. I mean, we know. Listen, you got too many hits. We're going for days, playing all your hits. And you know how Instagram is. We only got an hour, so we
right. But to go back, I'm gonna try to streamline the story. As a DJ, I started DJing for MC Shy D, who I met through being on the J Team, Edward J, which was a mixtape crew here in Atlanta. And through that, I got a record deal with Itchy Bun Records, which that was actually my second single on Itchy Bun Records. The first single was Drop Like This. Drop like this, bitch. Drop like this. So, and from that, once I got off of Itchy Bun, and I'll skip through that, Shy D started an independent label called Ben's Records. And that's where I really learned my sending records out from the living room. You know what I mean? Dealing with record pools, just everything there is to know from a ground level, because he was signed to Luke Records. So he learned a lot of his game from being around that. So it's like, I got a lot of game from people who really was from getting it out the mud for real. I'm talking about actually touching the product and taking it to the actual retail stores. And so that's how I got from and of course, as a producer, you take your DJ stuff into the drum machine. That's basically all the most producers who used to be DJs, they take the shit they was playing and make beats with it. So if you listen to Ooh Lord, the record you just played, that one number dropped the bass, DJ Magic Mike, and Electric Kingdom, because I was playing them records. You know what I mean? And so as a DJ, I was just taking, because I knew what made people dance. I just took elements from the records that I was playing and made beats with them. And so fast forward to the girls record with Taz, that was the R&B. Mixing the R&B songs with the bass songs. And so that's where the girls come from. I just sped through everything just to get to that point.
No, because we got to give them, this called hit stories week, so we got to get the stories behind the hits. Now, I don't know if people understand the hits, because first of all, this dude is probably one of the most humble dudes. It's crazy that all the people, and I don't want to cap for ColliPark because I'm from Compton, but everybody I met in the industry who've done huge things from College Park is really like humble dudes, like from yourself, from KP to Bear to K Wells. It's amazing. So with that being said, there is another record that is a dance sensation that gets played everywhere that people don't really realize that it was under you. And it was this record right here.
Oh! Oh!
How did I know?
Oh! Oh! All the shorties in the club, let me see you dance. Back it up, drop it down, let me see you dance. Get close up the ground, let me see you dance. Push it up, let me see you dance. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah.
Get in there. Right.
I mean,
it's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Now Vic had a couple of them, but I think, you know, for the sake of time, we're gonna stick with the Wobble because again, you got a lot of records that we got to still go through.
Right.
But that Wobble became what between that and Cupid, and that became a cult classic.
Right.
How the hell?
Well,
because I remember working that record in Interscope.
I got a shout out. Actually, that was Warner. I got to shout out Derek, my brother, on that one because I executive produced that album, but Derek actually signed Vic.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic used to cut hair on Old National. And so when
shit.
I had hair, I would go to the barber shop that he worked at. He wasn't my barber, but he worked there. And he would run up on me like, yo, man, I rap. And so he was rapping for years. Then he started doing gospel rap. And I was like, I like it, but that ain't really what I do. You know? And so my brother used the same barber. And he wound up hearing him out. And he gave him a record that was pretty good. And then when I had Soulja Boy over at Interscope, we were so hot. Everybody wanted to do business with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so Warner was just like, yo. So I was just like, I could have signed my mama and took her to Warner if I wanted to. Like, but we wound up taking Vic over to Warner. And, I wound up producing a record called Get Silly first. And I produced that record, and that record blew up. Gold, platinum, gold to platinum ringtones. That was when ringtones was out. And then so they gave him an album deal off of that because it was a single deal at first. Then we just kicked the door down with Get Silly. And for the second single, we were like, man, Vic wasn't really no kid like that. Vic might be my age, shit. I don't know. So, you know, we played the whole Soulja Boy shit on the first single. Then the second single, I was in the band, and my brother Derek was in the band. And so we kind of collaborated on that record, just the vibe, the whole band. And I had producers working with me at the time who played. And so that was like a gumbo of ColliPark, the camp, you know what I mean, came together and put that record together. And it flopped as Vic's second single. It flopped. And then Tony Neal was the first person to call me when he was doing like a Coke corporate party. He called me like, yo, I don't know what you're doing with Vic, but this needs to be the second single. And this was like a year and a half after he got dropped. He was dropped. I was like, dog, what you talking about? That video was up on YouTube, and that we been put that out. It didn't do shit. He was like, well, bro, this is it. And so that's when I first noticed that the line dance shit had caught on. And that's what blew that record up.
So that damn, one of us had to feel crazy after that.
Yeah, well, now they ain't feeling great. They still getting money.
Now, let's fast forward or rewind. I don't know the order of which you signed them, but you had some other guys that had a string of hits. And there was these guys right here.
You would play the one record I didn't produce.
Huh?
That's the one record I didn't produce.
Hold up, though. Hold up,
Shout out to Lil Jon,
because
man.
we still had another one we was gonna play, but we're gonna stick to yours, so we're gonna go here.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, how you doing? I love my living with me, yeah. Do you something that you might like, dear? Got a stick ass body and your ass looks soft. Mind if I touch it and see if it's soft? I want just be let's just say I can. Hey, I know that you're real nasty, man. Hey, they say a close mouth don't get big, so I don't mind explaining. You heard what I said? We need to make our way to the bed. You can start using your head. You like the book, have your legs open out in the book. Put it up, slap your legs, cause it says stay raw. Sweet position, take you down the business. So you can see what you've been missing. You might have some, but you never had nothing like this. Just wait till you see my dick. Hey, bitch, wait till you see my dick. Wait till you see my dick. Hey, bitch, wait till you see my dick. I'm gonna beat that pussy, yo. Hey, bitch.
It's funny.
Dog,
I'm older now. Listening to that, it's like,
first of all, how the hell? First, what made y'all even think of doing that shit? Like a whole song whispered.
that's how bonded we were creatively. There was no other group I could have given that idea and that concept to on earth that would have even recorded it. But I had the track and the concept of whispering. I didn't have no lyrics, but I gave the track and the concept to them, and they were so funny. Like, them two of the funniest dudes you ever gonna meet. Like, people know they crazy as fuck, but they're naturally funny and they're very creative. And when I heard that, where do you see my dick in a whisper? Like, we were standing outside of a restaurant when Kane said it in my ear, and I thought I was gonna die. That was like the funniest shit I ever heard in my life. And we came up with it in New York. Then when we got back to Atlanta, we actually recorded it. And when I heard the lyrical content of the whole record, we never intended to put it out as a single. It got leaked from the studio, and that's how it became a single, because it caught on so quick. And I can't take credit. We were just in such a creative space. We would just record and just do music because they knew the DJ Smurf side of me. So they knew all my bass music and all that shit. And I made some pretty nasty records as an artist. And they knew all of my shit. They were like the biggest DJ Smurf fans. And a lot of people don't know D-Rock made Bankhead bounce. What's up? What's up? What's up with the Bankhead bounce?
Damn sure did.
That's D-Rock. And so he knew all of my shit. And so when I would feed them concepts, they already knew where I was coming from creatively. So they could execute. And that's key. They could execute. I was the third silent member of the Ying Yang Twins. And that's why the music, I'm Jam Master Jay. You know what I mean? And
it's crazy because y'all had like a synergy that was amazing. I mean,
right.
That shit, Ying Yang had a hell of a run, and I gotta say, like, for picking records, you may be like quiet, like one of the quietest, like coldest A&R for picking records. Because fast forward, like, listen, this next record, you know, that was signed to ColliPark Music was banging in the clubs a few years back, and it was doing the trap shit. And I don't think people know you had anything to do with it, but it was this record right here.
Walk around the club, fuck everybody. Can't see, can't walk, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Walk around the club, fuck everybody. Can't see, can't walk, fuck everybody. Don't give a
E-Class funny.
Dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that was supposed to be on Interscope.
Huh?
That record was supposed to be on Interscope. You want to hear the story?
Yeah, damn sure do.
If that record was on Interscope, that would have been okay. So I signed Trilly and Prince Rick out of Dallas, Texas, right? Shout out to my brother Derek. He went to Dallas, and Bebe, who was the subject of the A Bay record, DJs in Dallas, and good friend, and turned Derek on to Trilly and Prince Rick. At the time, they had a record called Hit That Hoe. They call me Mr. Hit That Hoe, call me Mr. Hit, which was the biggest record in Dallas at the time. So I signed them off of that record, right? It wasn't Interscope, it was just ColliPark. I took the record to Interscope, shot the video, had everything packaged ready to go. Now, this is off the heels of Soulja Boy, right? They didn't fuck with it. So I felt so bad for the group because they believed in me. They believed that they signed to ColliPark and they turned down major labels to come fuck with me. And I was just heartbroken. And so I said, you know what? We wound up giving them the Walk Around the Club record. So then I told them, I said, Joe, y'all can leave just like you came with a hit. I said, here, take this record. If you want to stay down, I'm not fucking with Interscope no more. You can take the record and go get you another situation. And they stayed with me. And
damn,
we wound up taking that record to Malaco in Mississippi.
Shit. Yeah, damn.
That record.
Who was out there? Lionel was out there. Shout out to Lionel.
That's how me and Lionel got tight. Lionel was at Malaco, and we got that record out the mud. And that's why my story is a lot different from a lot of other record niggas out of this market. Because a lot of niggas had buildings behind them. Like, if I really go back to the shit, my Mike Walker shit, Southern Music Distribution with Ying Yang Whistle While You Twerk, brother, let me tell you something. I'm talking about literally walking into the store with your product, dropping it off, type shit. And so I can't relate to a certain level of record person who never had to get it out the mud with nothing. Yeah. Your music had to speak. You didn't have no budget, no video budget, no radio budget, no nothing. You had to get it up to that point. And that was the last record that we took from nothing, the Throw It Off record. And by the time we was done with it, we created another cultural classic. And I think it slept on, you know what I mean? Because it didn't have the building, that big push behind it. But we did our job, though.
For real, dog. Again, no, like, not just to, put 2 on the 10, but like quietly, you really, behind the scenes, really was smashing. And it's crazy.
That's all I know, man.
Because
I appreciate that.
You was always putting on, like, you wasn't looking for, you always look for, like, look, I like it. I'm going to try to put it on. I believe in it. You did that with, shit, man. One of the biggest producers right now came under your umbrella. I met him from you. Hank.
Hanky, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was Hanky, CJ, the whole crew. And that shit, so to me, and whenever you meet somebody, it's not about like when you meet that person, you have a synergy, but when you meet people that know that person and what they say about that person carries a lot of weight. So whenever I meet people that, man, what's up with Smurf? They like, man, Smurf, or ColliPark. People that know you call you Smurf. I'm sorry. Right. Or they call you Michael, but we
right. That's right. However you met me, that's what you call me.
Everybody is always like the work ethic. You know what I mean? I always talk about the work ethic, the talent, and the creativity, which I think, is amazing. Even with the new Kilo record, I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Appreciate
it. And hopefully Atlanta really fuck with it because it's you still look like a teenager, but it's Atlanta history. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you are like Atlanta history. I mean, in college, like again, College Park, I couldn't even create a Mount Rushmore for College Park because you can't create 4 people from College Park to actually really put on. You got people who
Right.
put on in different segments in different years, from Dallas, JD, K Wells to, yourself, the KP, all the way to, the Two Change, the Gunners, all the way. So you
Right.
can't really say, like, there's a College Park around Mount Rushmore. Now you got some coaches and some players, and I think that, you want definitely one of the coaches, you know what I'm saying? You
Right. Appreciate
that. The Phil Jacksons, Pat Riley's other shit, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
And you know what's crazy? Because I'm back to my DJ shit, and I didn't even know you were a DJ.
Really? Yeah.
So I bring that up because I'm finding records that I made as DJ Smurf that I forgot. Like, I got a whole career worth of product from that era. Like, I come from the Raheem the Dreams, MC Shy D, Kilo, DJ Kizzy Rock. Like, that's really my era. So
Definitely.
I could have stopped after that. You know what I mean? And so now that I'm back DJing.
I didn't know you DJ for Shy D, dog. That's
how I got
I just knew, like, Toon from DJing for Shy D. And Shy D was the first Atlanta rapper I ever heard in my life. You know what I'm saying? I remember, like, in LA, we had this like K-Day mix masters, and Dr. Dre then was mixing, and Dr. Dre was playing Egyptian Lover, and he went into a Shy D record. I was like, damn, who is this? And since he rhymed bass, but it was like everything was kind of like Run DMC, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wanted to be run. He wanted to be run, boy.
So, and I was like, who is this dude? He from Florida? I was like, nah, man, from Atlanta. I was like, really? So he was the first.
He's
rapper.
Actually from Bronx River Projects in New York. He's from New York. He's from the Bronx.
Damn.
Yeah. So that B-boy stance is real.
That shit. So that's.
And believe it or not, that's where my DNA come from. Like, my foundation, the slab up under everything that I do comes from hip hop. And so, because the type of music I do is fun and, party and all that, no, the element that it comes from is hip hop, the DJ and the MC. That's where I come from. And people don't know nothing about me on that level. And that's why.
Listen, dog. I gotta say, for everybody out there, y'all have to follow this cat, because he be getting down on the mix. I be creeping in there. Sometimes I'm like, just let it play. I'm like, damn, this nigga getting it. But you be over there, like,
it's just fun.
I be over there still. I be like, damn, let me go practice and shit. You know what I'm saying? You one of the cats that during the whole, like, quarantine-a-thon, like the whole quarantine shit, that you have to tune into, because you just having a good time. And especially if you want to know, like, the history of, like, how people take back to Atlanta when it was really a good time. Not when, we taking pictures in the club, this hookah and all that. I mean, really having a good time.
Right.
That when you spend, that's what it takes me back to, like, man, that shit, so. And I know that I know you're supposed to be on my partner show tonight too, Kid Joe. So.
No, I think that's next week. Is that tonight?
Tonight.
No.
It's not. It's tonight.
It just hit me by
It's actually.
What's crazy? You ain't gotta leave the house to do shit no more. So people can just call you or hit you up, be like, yo, can you do this interview? And you be like, yeah. And they put out the flyer and all that shit, and then you just be like, damn.
So y'all gotta follow my dude. Listen, this is what we gonna do. The Kilo record, right?
Right.
We gonna get let's send it to every DJ. It's 4th of July weekend. Every DJ We do it every DJ like it, maybe 12 o'clock Saturday.
Okay.
We won't just everybody drop
and
a
see,
kilo record.
and see, you can make that happen, dog. You can make that happen. And I say that because not because I got anything to do with the record. Because believe it or not, that record is 4 years old.
Is it?
The record is 4 years old. I just got music over here that I'm just sitting on. And when I started doing this quarantine stuff, I just started breaking some of the records out. And I always loved that record. And the people who were on my IG live was like, yo, what the fuck? That's that new kilo. That's that new kilo. And it wasn't until I saw that the people actually were reacting to it that I started pushing it. You know what I mean? And for Kilo, that's why I said I put the video up the other day. For Kilo Ali, for what he means to this city, for him to have a hot record, like the record is hot. Like even if I ain't do it, if I was out somewhere and I just heard it, I'd be like, God damn, Kilo, you know. So for him to have a record like that, why isn't this market, not the young kids, because I got kids, you know, 16, right, 17, not them. I'm talking about people my age, because we got radio stations, we got DJs, we got the whole shit to where this music can live without us trying to be something that we're not, as far as trying to compete with our kids. That record don't compete with our kids. Why can't we play it? That's
Listen, this is what we're gonna do. We gotta hold Cat's foot to the flame. Listen, I ain't gonna promise a rotation. I'm just saying all DJs be going in the mix Saturday. You gonna play this record just Appreciate because this my dude, and because like Kilo really. I mean, listen. When I moved here, we can say what we want to say about. Listen, I love 3 Stacks. He one of the coldest in the game. He top 3, and he ain't 3. But when I moved here,
Kilo was it.
One king of Atlanta.
And the type of artist that he is to this day, it was before Outkast. Kilo always been extravagant and on some real artistic shit. Listen to the record. I don't know if you about to play it or not, but the new record we got, even though it's some strip club shit, listen to what he's saying on that shit. That shit is genius, bro. He's a fucking genius. Always has been. On Baby Baby back in the 90s, he said, it's your birthday. Who says that shit? You know, I'm just saying, he was always taking chances as an artist. He's always been our hero. I'm just blessed to be able to have worked with him after all these years.
Right.
And for the record to come out as good as it is, just do my part. I'm just doing my part, bro.
Listen, and we appreciate that shit. And that's why the shit called HitStories, because you got stories of hits. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got so we really listen, dog. You really gonna have to go. We really have to do a little a mini dot on ColliPark, not with college with a whole segment with ColliPark, but we got to do. We gonna have to do something in ColliPark because just the history of that city, bro.
Right.
And the history, you know, your history. Again, shit, we played nothing but hits, and we missed so many hits.
Yeah, we ain't
even.
Yeah, it would take some time.
We got our other partner, who is another quiet assassin from ColliPark. My partner KP.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I got it because you better hit Joe, because Joe gonna be like, man, you fucked up. You took all the time.
Do your thing, man.
Dog, man, I appreciate you, dog. And again, I'm gonna call you. I'll call you like after this, because we're gonna get the DJs for real.
Okay.
There's a lot of DJs on. We gotta make sure y'all get this record, and we're gonna blow it up, because you know it just gotta be done. Especially 4th of July shit.
Yeah.
You niggas at home, man.
Right.
Ain't nothing but house parties. Only irresponsible young motherfuckers out. So
and the women gonna love it. That's the other thing. I'm not asking people to play some bullshit. That record is smashing. The record is smashing. I promise. Yeah.
My nigga. So,
all right, man. Go ahead.
I'm gonna hit you after this, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
My dude, Collie. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Listen, man. I don't know if y'all understand the I don't know if y'all understand like that cat, ColliPark, aka Smurf to me. But with HitStories, man, this city, ColliPark, you got so many assassins, so many people responsible for so much, so many legends. Um, I'm gonna go into this record before my partner come in, and this is probably one of my favorite records. I'm gonna bring him in. Y'all see my iron. I'm gonna bring him in as we play this. So I was just telling the people, this is quietly one of my favorite records from not College Park, from Atlanta, period. And it's this record right here.
Yeah.
Water is a fire, when darkness is the light. You don't know about what the song. Now, look what the sound was like, it was the most slick. With Christmas, the phone up in the dance, and hang and dig it. Like spare ATLs in the midst, like gorillas. Natural bouquet splitters, got some flies, pull up on the driller. We speak, sometimes get deep with it. Boogie, you still to the left. The boys been here, get the spit, but I get out the service. Niggas get pussy down, 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 down.
So for those that don't know, those that are not from Atlanta and may not know about that record. That record is called Like We Do by a group called Parental Advisory, PA. And if I'm not mistaken, that was y'all like the first group associated with Dungeon Family that was signed.
Yeah. Yeah, we were the first group to get a deal. Yeah.
That group was Mellow Capone, Big
Big Reese.
and this cat right here,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Kawan, KP Prather.
What up, Jay Carter?
KP, listen, man, because this is all about like College Park and just the history of the music and everything, and just so much like how College Park really put on for Atlanta.
Mm.
And I don't think that a lot of people, because you've been behind the scenes and humble, like shit, your whole career. We had you at one music fest, and I was amazed. People were like, man, who's KP? His set is cold, but who is KP? I'm like, damn, dog, be your damn history. Like, this dude is a legend. So getting into that legendary shit, we had PA.
I appreciate that, by the way.
Hey, but I got your first record that you A&R.
Well, by the way, that Like We Do, I actually did the beat on that one. Like that was Mello, like me and Mello on that one. Like that was when we were forced to start learning how to produce.
So that's quite so. Of course, as a producer and as a DJ, how did you get into like A&R and behind the whole behind the scenes at working for the Face at the time?
Honestly, it all started because I was DJing, and as a DJ in a group, like my natural thought was always about, keeping the shit moving. So when we'd be in the studio, like if things were stagnant or if somebody had a verse and I remembered it, I'd be the person to be like, yo, CeeLo, didn't you say, or is that was like what I was doing, basically just because at the time I didn't smoke or drink, so I was like the most focused person around the dungeon at the time, and but I was just that was just my thing. I was the responsible dude, and LA and Pebbles would have these conversations with me, and basically Pebbles told me like the way I thought and the way I looked at stuff, because I kind of was always looking out for the whole team. She was like, that's a whole job over here, and it's people that get paid doing it, but I just didn't understand it at first. So they basically taught me or showed me the correlation of what I was doing and how that was A&R.
And I, if I'm not mistaken, this was the first record, the first song you A&R for the Face.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, what's up? Can you play Have I Never by you?
Oh, that's crazy. That's like that's first person. There's a van from the '69 boys did that dude. That's funny. That's a few good men. That was a few good men, right?
You. Yep.
That's funny. Yeah. Like no, Babyface. That was Babyface and Daryl Simmons had that record, and it was a ballad, and it was funny like coming off of Smurf. Or I'm sorry, Miss Cosby Park. Yeah, it was like it was just a natural thought because I'm from Atlanta, and that's what from the skating rink and from J Team tapes, and it's like why we got a ballad, throw a bass beat under it. So and at the time I was in the group PA, so I had been on the road, and I met Van from '69 Boys, Thrill the Player, and we were tight. So I was like, hey man, you want to do a remix? And yeah, so I was just like doing what I would have done on some DJ shit, but like on some A&R shit.
And that shit, and it's crazy because like I don't think again just A&R track record. They, even
That's
at
the
the
first
face,
first. Wow.
even at the face, this was to me the Outkast. You had Outkast, you had Goody. I mean, you had the whole Dungeon family, which if people don't know, KP's a member of the Dungeon family. But as far as the kind of bringing in, ushering in
Mm,
a street sound and street, the gutter kind of street records, but
mm,
still having a good time in the club. It
mm.
was these dudes right here to me were like one of the first. I mean, one of the first that I recognized, and of course, A&R this record, and it was these guys right here.
Yeah. That is Attic Crew. Bear, what up? What up, Steve Payment? What up with you, bro? Take a month. Yeah, yeah. Uh, okay.
How the hell did you first find the young bloods and shake them off come about?
Shout out to Pretty Ken, man.
Oh yeah,
So
shout out
Attic
to Ken.
Crew, yeah, Pretty Ken. He, on his exile from the dungeon, and he created the Attic Crew.
Attic
No,
crew.
just playing, but he, him and his that was Sean Paul's his cousin, J Bo, like they were all tight. And honestly, I remember what happened. Like we were in the Chili Pepper one night, and they were in there throwing the football in the club, like across the club from the banisters. Like it was like for those who don't know, Chili Pepper had these two levels, dance floor down here and a VIP kind of balcony level, and they were throwing this football across the balcony, and they were just having a ball. And I was like, man, what the fuck? So I'm talking to Ken, and while the song was playing, Sean Paul just started doing the shake 'em off shit, and he was
Oh
like,
shit.
man, just shake them hoes off. And I was like, okay, shit. I was like, yeah, I was like, man, that's your song. And they didn't have any music at the time, and I was like, I want to sign them. Let's do that. And Ken was like, yeah. So we were gonna do it together. Ken will tell you, I don't know what Ken will say, but on Ti's show, I think he will tell you that he didn't have his shit together, and the guys were ready to move. So I basically just was like, okay, well, shit, get your shit together, and we'll do a label deal with you. But right now, we got to move. And that's how it went. They went to the studio. They made their record. UA, me, Reese and Mello did 85. Um, like the Attic Crew did the majority of it. They brought in Jim Crow, and it just turned into this thing. Yeah.
That is it's important because a lot of the records, a lot of the songs and artists that you worked with before, Pink, Tony Braxton, TLC.
Mhm.
Um, then you come back with the Young Bloods. You know what I'm saying? So we're just like, damn, man, this dude really working flipping both sides of the coin, just really getting it in the gutter, and he getting it on R&B and pop.
Well,
With
I'm from Atlanta, man. Like we ghetto niggas with class, bro. We get it.
right.
We can read. We've been places. We saw lifestyles of the rich and famous. We want to go there too.
Now
You know?
speaking of ghetto niggas from class,
Yeah.
you signed probably the most ghettoest nigga with class.
One time for entrepreneurship. How about that?
Right. And he came and he issued in, of course, he issued in the trap sound. But before he issued the trap sound, this is, to me, this is, I swear to God, when this record came out, dog, I had
What's that?
the
What's that,
single.
Jaquil?
And people was mad that he came
Mm-hmm.
out with this single because he's like, it's some New York shit. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, damn, that New York shit. Did y'all hear what this nigga is saying? I remember being
Mm-hmm.
on tour with Ball and G, and I played this shit. So them niggas was like, man, come on, dog. We gonna have to hide the CD. You playing it too much. And it was this record right here.
Thank you for noticing the sequencing on that.
Hey, take a good look at it. Now picture me in bed. No cash and not fashion, not flashy. Picture me doing bad. Bitch, if I'm one grad. Picture me free on my mind. I'm by high.
Fire hot,
My
not
arms frozen. Picture me in a room full of hoes unchosen.
unchosen.
With no P.O. and no pro.
No
Good
joke.
for raw and getting no dough. LA gone, I ain't got a jigger no more. A ghetto bitch ain't real no more. A T.I. ain't one for me no more. He still so. He still a hoe, nigga, picture that. A matter of fact, picture still getting anything other than rich. I can't picture this young mom's average son of a bitch. Like, with anything less than shit, I can't see it.
Oh,
Yeah, he can rap.
he can rap.
He can rap.
Did you, when you first met Tip, did you feel like from day one was you like this nigga can rap?
Yes. No, that he rapped from the door. Like from the time I walked in the studio, he was in the room ready to rap. Like, and when he was like intentional with it. And yeah, and he just always been like he's the same. He's consistently the same person I met. Like same everything. Like same moral stance. Same. Intent to be dope. It's like yeah, he's a real one. And and he's been that from jump. And I think the records and the songs say that. That's what people like about him so much. That's why we allow him to be human and get into shit and get out of it and grow from it, and we fuck with it still.
Now he was signed to Ghetto Vision, your label, right?
Say that again. Yes, he was on the Ghetto Vision first. Yep.
Because it's crazy. Because I think shortly after, and you left the label, but he said on the record, Ghetto Vision ain't real no more. But if you kind of like fast forward, shortly after y'all dropped the record, he kind of like he was independent, kind of looking for a situation. But if you listen to the I'm Serious album, which people like tend to overlook, the I'm Serious album may be one of Tip's best from top to bottom.
I mean, even in the sense that yeah, like in business, like some things had happened and I had to leave Arista. He had to leave for us to be able to grow and be on some other shit. But that's my brother. Like so, yeah. Picture that. We still like it's still the same. It's the same relationship. And it's actually cooler to me because it's not on paper. It's just the relationship based on the men that we are, and that's way tighter to me.
Right.
So yeah. So picture that. Like
I mean, and it's crazy because working with, the Neptunes did that, and that to
yeah,
me,
it worked out.
that was the first. It was the first time you worked professionally with with the Neptunes, and now look where it's at now.
Yeah, I mean, well, technically that was the second time. The first time was with Usher for 8701 with you don't have to call, and I don't know. And that's basically those sessions are where I introduced Tip to Pharrell.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
damn. And, and then of course you left
Hmm.
and went on to A&R, some of records, some of the biggest hits that they ain't know you had, like this.
Give me the green light. Give me this one night. I'm ready to go right now. 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 I see you move, I'm checking the slide, working you back like it's going out of style. Shake just a little bit faster, shake just a little now, girl. Got you to reach you, let's spice around. Got an exception, let's get it down.
John the Legend and the Legend
Yeah.
KP.
Yeah, well, I mean, not the as a song. I guess it's a stunt because I'm saying it out loud. But we produced that record too. Me and Malay produced that record.
Oh shit.
My bad.
Little subtle cap, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
I'm
that's the way you
saying,
do it.
no hat required.
Damn. So how did you sign John, or was he signed
Yeah,
in?
yeah. Signed him at they say success has many fathers, but signed him at Sony when I was at Columbia. And yeah, through like John Monopoly shot me the demo of what was mostly the album, right? And that first album, Get Lifted. And actually, the only song that we added to that album after we signed him was Ordinary People. And
Damn.
that came up because Will.i.am went and wrote this record, and they started writing it overseas. And when he came back to the States and was like, "Yo, I want to play this record." We started writing, and he sat down at the piano and he played the song and sang it. So I was like, "Oh, that was dope. Hey, why don't you record it right quick? Because I'm about to get on a flight, and that way I can listen to it while I'm riding." He recorded it, and that's what's on. That's what came out.
Damn. Now I gotta play two
What
monster
up, Scar?
records because they trying to, IG how to do what they do, and they
Oh
definitely.
yeah, I mean, ColliPark had a lot of history. I saw that.
But hold on though, because this history right here.
Mm.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sometimes you feel you can take a break. Hot air balloon never goes space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy all alone if you.
No, I mean, how the hell did you come with this one?
I mean, shit, that's for real. I mean, that's how he felt. That's what he wrote. But it's funny because that record we originally tried to put it when I was at Atlantic, working at Atlantic. We originally tried to put Happy on CeeLo.
CeeLo.
Yeah, and he recorded it and got it back to the company, and they didn't really fuck with it like that. So like kind of out of no like back against the wall, we ended up getting Pharrell like as a friend. Strongly suggested that he just do it himself, like because he I think at the time didn't want to be an artist, and he really wanted the song on CeeLo, but they were taking it through so many hoops that it was kind of one of them homeboy conversations, like, bro, just do that shit yourself, and and he did, and I mean, and he's Pharrell, so it's like he's the perfect person for that. He was the person who was supposed to say that.